Hello and welcome, and my name is Sweet Phil, and I came across something that's just kind of interesting I really wanted to bring to y'all, and that is that back in the day, I don't know if y'all knew this, but in the game files there was an entire list of rune words that you could actually back in the day make, but the rune words weren't really any good. They were wiped from the game and you could no longer make them. But it seems as though a lot of these rune words are still in the game files, and not only did they stay in the game files, now in Diablo 2 Resurrected, people did some digging around in the 2.4 PTR patch, and those are still actually in the PTR. And see, it's not only that necessarily, some of them have actually been removed, which means, in my opinion, I mean, I'm just kind of speculating here, I suppose, but if there was a full list and then those are here and now some of them are removed, that means somebody looked at them and actually made the decision to remove them, I would think. So they would have to know that then they are here, which would also mean that they must have left the ones that they left there on purpose. So right here today, we're on purediablo.com, and they have this article up here. 2.4 PTR reveals 84 new rune words that are still included. So like I said, these ones are still in the game files for the 2.4 PTR patch, but not all the ones that were in the old Diablo game files are still in here. Somebody removed some of them. So let's go ahead and read over this. It's not very long. I'll just read it off right here. With the Diablo 2 Resurrected 2.4 patch now being tested on the PTR, we've been digging around and found that 84 rune words that could make it into the game at some point are still present. While the name of these words are there, and some have been for a while in previous versions, they have not been removed. However, some others that were previously discovered way back in earlier D2 patches are no longer there, and that's what I was talking about. They removed some of the rune words from this list. There is 84 left remaining on it, and I'm going to go ahead and talk about a little bit of research that I did on my own, just a tiny bit that's going to point to exactly what they're talking about here. Blizzard has been canny enough to leave their data blank for now, though, as they had done previously. So they've done that before, where they had the rune words in there listed, but they didn't have any information on it in the game files, so people couldn't do things like this, dig into the actual files, and then come up with exactly what they're going to be releasing in the future. This is more likely to see how each new batch plays out, so that stats can be added, tweaked to words as they are about to be revealed. Plus, it stops people snooping around in the files for the actual rune word. Like I just said, it stops people like this from snooping around. I would not have the technical knowledge to be able to do it. Somebody here has. So for now, you can at least see the rune words that remain and what's likely coming up, even if we don't know the runes combos as of yet. Here are all 84 are still in the PTR files that remain. As a reminder, keep in mind these could change and more could be removed at any point. So this is the list that is currently in the game files. It has the list of the names, but they have removed all information in the game files about them, though. It's kind of weird that it is that way. I don't really fully get it, but at the bottom it has the name of the guy that did all the snooping around. But this is a list of the names of the rune words, but there are no runes that it can tell you what it is. It doesn't say anything of what the abilities would be on it, or what stats would be on it, or whatever. We're gonna go ahead and scroll down, and I will put a link down in the description to this article right here, along with a list of another article that I'm going to go to that is a very old article. And look at this. This list is long. There's a ton of them in here. Just every name in the book, and it's right down here. Necro with a K is the one that data mined, or whatever you call it. I'm not 100% sure, but he's the one that searched in the game files and found this list right here. Now, when I was kind of looking around, it popped up. I ended up coming across a video made by Extimus, and I know using someone else's video as your research, but he knows so much about this game, and through watching his video and learning or whatever, down in his description, and he mentioned in his video, make sure you check this guy out, by the way. Extimus is kind of a legend, made videos for a long time, still puts out a sick video now and again, still to this day. So I found a list right here, diabloii.net, that had where people went into the old game files and found the list of old rune words, which is right here. And back in the day, though, see, it even has rune words that are like, it's just a list of every single rune word. Here's Black, here's Ancient's Pledge, but there's some on here that weren't out yet, that actually, after this list was posted, because this is from 2004, the year I graduated high school, son, so a while ago. But look at here, Breath of the Dying. This is super interesting because they changed it. Ja Tal Ist Lo or Lem was originally supposedly the Breath of the Dying back in the day, but back during 2004 or 07 here, 1.07, not 07, but the patch 1.07, in the very early days of Diablo 2, runes were even rarer than they are now. Like, nobody ever seen a rune ever. It never happened. I'm being, you know, I'm joking around here. People did see runes, but almost never. They were so incredibly rare, way more rare than they are now. And you can keep looking down at other stuff down here. Death right here. We got Dol, Lem, Nef, Tal, Eth. You know, that's not what it is now. Heart of the Oak, El, Nef, Eth, Hell. Imagine in it just in staffs and clubs. So, you know, could you imagine if Heart of the Oak was just El, Nef, Eth, Hell? My goodness, if it had all the same stuff, and that's what it was. But this is a list of what it was in the game files. It had all the information, including the runes, the rune word name, and all that stuff. So now they have this same list in here, except, we'll go back to that page, they removed several of the rune words that were in the old list that I was just looking at, along with they wiped out all of what the runes were, and they wiped out any of the added attributes and the added stats that you would get if you made that rune word. Now, I think this is super interesting that the list is there with the names, but they removed all the other stuff and they removed some of the rune words, because that means they look like this wasn't just like they're using the old game files. They brought it over because it's running in the background and they need it in the front. They actually looked at this list and removed some of them. And also, it is kind of interesting that they did take like the old rune word Plague and brought it in. That's one of the first new rune words here in Diablo 2 Resurrected. So maybe, I mean, I don't want to go too far down the speculation path here. I'm just kind of spitballing and thinking these could be rune words that are coming in the future. They also may not be. It might mean nothing, fellas. It might mean nothing, everybody. But I wouldn't be surprised if a few of these names on this list make an appearance here in the future ladders for new rune words. And I mean, considering how many there are, and there's only so many words in the English language, one of these would have to probably be in the future patches, in the future ladders for Diablo 2 Resurrected. It'll be super interesting to see what exactly they can come up with, and there's probably a good reason, like they set up here. They don't want people thinking, oh my gosh, this rune word's terrible, what are they doing, why are they, you know, using these runes? They're just gonna leave it blank for now, seeing how stuff kind of plays out originally with the new rune words and the skill changes and stuff, and then go from there in the future. So like I said, don't read too much into it, but it is kind of an interesting list. Link in the description to this. There's also a link in the description to the old list as well from 2004. You can go and take a look at it and compare. This list is incredibly interesting. Like I said, I was just looking at it. So hey, hope you guys like this. Hey, peace out, and don't forget, keep slaying.